This is my first video update coming to you from Limassol, Cyprus. I am down by the main boardwalk. The city center is that way, not far off, and the marina is down that way. If you ever come to Limassol, to this beautiful city by the sea, then this is an area that you want to come to because, especially on the weekends, because there's just a lot of stuff going on here, and it's just a nice place to walk around and to enjoy a Sunday morning or even a Sunday afternoon, evening when the sun goes down and things cool off a bit, because right now it is scorching hot. Very, very hot day here in Limassol. But let's talk about the news. It's not going to stop me from walking around and talking about the news. And we'll talk about a lot of different stories, I think, today, because we don't have one overarching type of big news story for this Sunday. So let's start things off with a statement from the ex-foreign minister of Romania. The ex-foreign minister of Romania, keep that in mind. And I believe his name is Marga, Andrei Marga. Let me pull it up just to make sure I've got his name down here. Yes, Andrei Marga, the ex-foreign minister for Romania. He said that Ukraine is a country of unnatural borders and should give part of its territory to Russia, Romania, Hungary, and Poland. What a comment coming out of this former government official. The embassy in Ukraine, the embassy of Ukraine in Romania. Well, they said the statement of the Romanian ex-foreign minister, Andrei Marga, is unacceptable, and they want answers from the Romanian government, of course, because the ex-foreign minister of Romania, I guess he said the quiet part out loud, didn't he? And you know that that Poland, Romania, Hungary, you know that they're all watching what's going on in Ukraine right now very carefully. And to deny the fact that they have ethnic and historical connections. I don't want to say claims. Let's say connections. Let's use a very diplomatic word. That they have historical and ethnic cultural connections to much of the west of Ukraine is undeniable. And Poland has made very solid, concrete moves. I believe they've made concrete moves to position themselves for a possible reintegration of various areas in the west of Ukraine if the circumstances call for such a move. And Romania, well, you hear this statement coming from this ex-Romanian official, but you know, if he's saying it, you know that a lot of government officials in Romania are probably thinking the same thing. Not ex-government officials, probably government officials are thinking the same thing. And of course you have Hungary, and you have the Transcarpathian region, which has undergone, the citizens there have fell victim to a lot of Ukrainian government persecution over the past couple of years. All of this is due to the Ukraine, various Ukrainian laws with regards to culture, language, and identity. And this has affected many of the ethnic Hungarians in the Transcarpathian region. And there was an article in Politico, and I'm just waiting to walk as these guys are taking photos here. Great, I am clear to walk. And what was I saying? And there was an article in Politico a couple of days ago with this title. Let me find it here. It says, Hungary's pro-Russia stance was inevitable. This is not a bad article, actually, coming from Politico. But basically, they try to explain why Hungary has managed to remain neutral in the collective West NATO proxy war against Russia in Ukraine. And one of the reasons that they state for Hungary's neutrality, even though Hungary does have have historical grievances, rightly so, with regards to the USSR and what happened between the USSR and Hungary. Even though you have that terrible history there, if you look at the modern history between Hungary and Ukraine in relations to ethnic Hungarians in the Transcarpathian region, then it explains a lot as to why Viktor Orban has not gone full on board with Ukraine and has kept a neutral stance. But the Politico article also mentions some other reasons for Hungary's position vis-a-vis Ukraine. It says that the article states that much of Hungarian society, while they're not sympathetic towards Russia, they can relate to Russian society's desire for traditional values, for a sovereign state, for a sovereign culture, for cultural identity, for religious identity, religious sovereignty. All of these things are these traditional values are things that Hungarian society can also relate to, and so you have that kind of connection, even though Hungarians are not part of say the Slavic world. Let's just say the type of Slavic identity like other countries in Eastern Europe are. The underlying value system that Hungary is moving towards and that Russia is moving towards is in the same direction. It's the exact opposite of the neoliberal globalism of the European Union, and that's another reason why Hungarian society and Viktor Orban, according to this Political article, are not fully on board with Project Ukraine. And then another reason that they give, which I believe is a very valid reason, is the fact that the EU continues to attack Hungary. So the EU attacks Hungary because Hungarian society and the Viktor Orban government, they want to move towards a more sovereign, traditional values Hungarian nation state. And so the EU consistently attacks Hungary. And this has been happening over the past, I don't know, say 2 to 4 years, maybe even further back. And Hungarian society says, if the EU is waging a war on us and they're waging a war on Russia, well then, something's not exactly right with the EU. And so that's a very valid claim as well. So anyway, it's a good article. I'll link it down below. And I always say it's a good article given the fact that it's coming from Politico. So that was kind of surprising. It's not one of the typical garbage Collective West media posts that you usually get from publications like Politico. So let's see. So that was the news with regards to Romania, Hungary, and Ukraine. And what's going on in Ukraine on the ground? There's a lot of activity, but also not much is changing, to be honest. You just kind of see a lot of maneuvering, a lot of speculation as well. This village fell, or that village fell, or this is changing hands. No, wait a minute, this didn't change hands. Kupiansk or other various regions or villages. I mean, I think the basic overall big picture over the past couple of days has pretty much remained the same, with the exception of Bakhmut, and that is that Bakhmut is about to. It appears it is about to fall to the Russians. That's how things look, and there's a lot of speculation that Kupiansk and Liman and these areas are being taken by the Ukraine military, but then you get reports that they're not being taken by the Ukraine military. And so it's hard to get a feel for where things are going there. But the other big picture thing that we all have to keep an eye out for with regards to the fight in Ukraine, the conflict in Ukraine, is not so much the territory, but it's the fact that the casualties that the Ukraine military is sustaining is from what I understand, just absolutely massive. I mean, horrendous casualty numbers. And this goes back to, and all of these numbers that they're sustaining is so that they can get some sort of territorial win And they're sacrificing hundreds, if not thousands, of lives in order to somehow occupy, even temporarily occupy, a village here or a village there. Holding it is a whole nother matter. But it goes back to what I've been saying for a while now with regards to this conflict. It is Ukrainian troops, just manpower, waves and waves of soldiers being thrown up against Russian artillery. And the question is, in this type of attrition, who wins out in this type of attrition? Is it the waves and waves of manpower, or does the artillery win out? It doesn't look like the Russian artillery is stopping anytime soon. As a matter of fact, if you look at everything that's happening day by day, it looks like the Russians are ramping up missile strikes and they're ramping up artillery fire, and that's actually contrary to what you're hearing. That runs counter to the reports that you're hearing from the collective West, which is that Russia's running out of missiles and ammunition and stuff like that. It seems like over the past 3-4 days that Russia is actually ramping up missile strikes and artillery fire. I mean, in a big way. And the narrative that Ukraine has unlimited manpower I think that's completely false. I think it is 100% false. And sooner or later, all of these losses that they're sustaining in order to temporarily capture a piece of land, which the Russians, it appears, are very, I don't want to say they're fine to give, but they're fighting a mobile war. And so, they're okay to move back and forth, They're fine to pivot back and forth in between territory if it means that they can demilitarize, because that is one of the top stated goals of this special military operation. If it means the Russians can demilitarize by giving up a piece of land temporarily, then it looks like they're more than happy to do so. So that's the war, manpower, waves and waves of manpower, and come October 1st, woman power, if you want to use the woke terminology, right? Manpower and woman power. Well, October 1st, from what we're getting, Ukrainian women are going to be entering the war full speed ahead. I'm not sure about the front lines, but they're definitely going to take a more active role in the conflict, and that's going to be going up against Russian artillery, Russian missiles, Russian weapons, long-range weapons, and the Ukraine. The Ukraine is asking for long-range missiles, and you hear a lot of the media talk is really ramping up with regards to providing Ukraine with long-range missile capabilities. I mean, every publication is talking about it now in the collective West. Financial Times, Bloomberg, Politico, Wall Street Journal, they're all talking about this constant negotiation between Ukraine and the Bidenopoulos White House, Greece's favorite son, Joe Bidenopoulos, and how they're mulling over providing Ukraine with long-range missiles. And some publications are saying that the Bidenopoulos White House is about to do it. They're about to go ahead and give Ukraine these long-range missiles. And other publications like CNN, for example, they're saying that the Biden White House has ruled this out because this would mean a massive step in a massive escalatory step in this conflict. But in these types of situations, the neocons always seem to win out. I imagine there's a lot of level heads, rational military people and level heads in the Pentagon that are telling the Bidenopoulos White House, stop this madness, don't do this. But then I'm sure you have the Newland, Department of State, Blinken crazies who are probably whispering in Bidenopoulos' his ear, and they're saying, Joe, come on, man. Let's get some long-range missiles to Ukraine. I mean, this is coming from from the foreign minister of Ukraine, Kaluba. He was speaking to PBS, and he claimed that Ukrainian generals have an excellent line of communication with American generals, and they are discussing this issue of long-range missiles, of supplying Kiev with longer-range ammo for high-mobility artillery rocket systems for HIMARS. The minister noted that Kiev appreciates everything the United States has done, adding that it needs specific weapons to get things done on the battleground. I do not exclude the option that the United States will make a positive decision on this specific type of weapon, he added, referring to HIMARS long-range munitions. So I think in these instances, the neocons and the crazies eventually win, and sooner or later you're going to get these long-range missiles, and then we're hitting. God knows where we're heading to next, because the Russian foreign ministry, the Russian government, Maria Zakharova, actually came out with a statement the other day, and she said providing these types of weapons will be crossing a red line, and if the United States does provide these types of long-range weapons, then well, they're a party to this war, is what she pretty much stated. So this is from the foreign ministry, but still, they're pretty much warning the United States, don't do it. Because look, these long-range missiles, what are they meant to do? They're meant to hit Russian territory, specifically Crimea, I would imagine. But, you know, you could be talking about other Russian cities and villages bordering Ukraine. So Biden, I believe, is going to fold on this. I hope he doesn't, but I believe he's going to say, okay, let's provide these long-range missiles, because the neocons, they always win out. Always. Germany, Olaf Scholz came out with a statement yesterday, and he pretty much declared Russia as enemy number one. Actually, he did declare Russia as enemy number one. And he said that the German military needs to, they need to build up. They need to become the most powerful military, the best equipped army in Europe. He said that he was speaking at the Bundeswehr conference in Berlin on Friday, and Scholz said his government's priority was to turn the country's military into a foundation pillar of European defense. He cited the Russian offensive against Ukraine as the turning point that prompted Berlin to reassess its role on the continent. And within NATO, Germany is ready to take on the responsibility in a leading position, Scholz said, adding that the German military should become the best equipped strike force in Europe in the months and years ahead. Yeah, we've been here before. We've seen this movie before, haven't we? That's what I feel like. I feel like this is a repeat of a certain world war. But that's Scholz and his statements with regards to ramping things up. They're not. You know, the collective West is not looking to find a solution for Ukraine. They want full out war, because looking at the economies of the collective West, looking at the situation, these guys probably believe that war is the only thing that can save them from the economic collapse, or at least distract from the inevitable economic collapse that the collective West is now facing. It's only one direction, and that is a war direction. Politico read another article saying that Macron has been secretly training Ukrainian troops. Not along the lines of how the UK was training Ukrainian troops, like just training thousands and thousands of troops, or is in the process of training thousands of troops. But Macron has been training smaller forces in France in order to fight the Russians. So, you know, sneaky Macron. But look, if Politico, and I think it was Politico, if they're the ones to reveal this, well then, you know, the Russians know what's going on as well. This is not something that's going to be secret to the Russians. So I'm sure that Putin is well aware of what's happening in France with regards to training these Ukrainian troops to fight Russia. But you know, that's how Macron operates. He's a sneaky, slippery one, isn't he? A man of very little honor is Emmanuel Macron, a globalist through and through. One minute he's calling Putin and he's talking about de-escalation and trying to find a solution to this conflict, while at the same time he's training Ukrainian forces to fight Russia. So that was an article from Politico. And let's see, do I have any other stories on my mind to talk about? I think I'll make this one a quick one because I'm melting. I'm literally melting here. It is super hot. I need to jump in that water. Let's do a clown world and we'll finish up this video. And I've talked a lot about the Zelensky curse with regards to world leaders, and how world leaders who have supported Zelensky have been dropping like flies. You have Mario Draghi, Italy. You have the parliamentary elections in France, Macron. You had the recent Swedish elections as well. You have Boris Johnson of the UK, which has given us Liz Truss. I don't know if that's an upgrade or a downgrade. That's a double whammy Zelensky curse. You have elections in Bulgaria coming, and actually I believe elections in Slovakia as well, if I'm not mistaken, or at least the Slovakian government is about to collapse, if I'm not mistaken. But you have all these world leaders that supported Zelensky, and they collapse. Well, it's not only world leaders, but it's also monuments. Monuments have also turned off the lights that were once shining the Ukrainian flag. Well, now they have to turn off the lights in order to preserve energy. And you have monuments like the Brandenburg Gate in Germany. You have the Eiffel Tower in France. You have the London Eye as well. And all these monuments, once upon a time, they were lit up in solidarity with Ukraine. And now they have to turn off the lights in order to save power because, well, their countries don't have electricity anymore. So rolling blackouts. Everyone in Europe needs to familiarize themselves with the term rolling blackouts. It's going to be part of our vocabulary a lot come this winter. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. theduran.locals.com. Check out Alexander's channel. Check out the Duran's channel, coming to you from Limassol, Cyprus. Take care.